It was just another rainy Monday when a man in a worn-out hoodie walked into one of the most luxurious car dealerships in Denver. No one knew he was Jacob Reed, the billionaire CEO of the entire chain. He wasn't there to buy. He was there to investigate whispers, scams, fraud, and something darker. But nothing prepared him for what he saw next. A struggling young mother signing a contract with trembling hands. One that claimed he had approved the repossession of the very car she used to drive her daughter to chemotherapy. Jacob snatched the paper and froze. This, this is my signature, but I didn't sign this. His voice trembled. You forged my name and tried to scam the mother of a dying child? What happens next exposes a betrayal so cold, it changes the future of the company forever. The rain hit the windshield like war drums. Jacob Reed, dressed in jeans and an old hoodie, tightened his grip on the steering wheel as he pulled into the Denver branch of his own dealership empire, Reed Auto Group. To the world, Jacob was the billionaire CEO behind one of the country's fastest-growing luxury car chains. But today he was a ghost, a shadow, a man with a mission. Whispers had reached him over the last 3 months, not through board meetings or reports, but through angry DMs, anonymous letters, and a viral TikTok where an elderly woman cried about being scammed into re-signing her fully paid car. Corporate assured him it was fake. His lawyers said, "We'll investigate." But Jacob knew the truth rarely lived in boardrooms. So here he was, no entourage, no cameras, just him and the truth. He walked into the Denver showroom and instantly felt the chill. Salesmen huddled in corners, barely noticing customers. The music blared, but the atmosphere felt hollow, like a place that sold dreams but delivered debt. That's when he saw her. A woman sat across a manager's desk, her eyes sunken with exhaustion. A child's pink hospital bracelet dangled from her purse. She was dressed plainly, a gray hoodie, loose jeans, the kind of wardrobe worn by people who haven't shopped for themselves in years. The manager, slick hair, perfect teeth, was handing her a contract. His name tag read Trent. "I promise this is the last thing to sign," Trent said, oozing charm. "After this, we can transfer the title back into your name." "I don't understand," the woman said, her voice barely a whisper. "I already paid for the car. I gave up my home for this." "You fell behind on some fine print charges," he said, "but you're lucky. CEO signed off personally." Jacob's eyes narrowed. He stepped closer. The woman pulled out a folder, thick with medical forms. On top was a letterhead from St. Vincent's Pediatric Oncology. Jacob's heart skipped a beat. Trent pushed the paper across. "Sign here, and you're all set." The woman's hands trembled. "This isn't what the charity deal said." Jacob's jaw clenched. Charity deal? He'd personally approved discounted vehicles for families with terminally ill children. He even remembered one name, Emily Hargrove, and that's when he saw it. At the bottom of the contract was his signature. Except he never signed this. Jacob stormed forward. "Let me see that paper." Trent looked up, irritated. "Sir, this is a private—" Jacob grabbed the document, eyes scanning it. It wasn't just forged, it was copied. His signature had been stamped, pasted, mass-produced. The kind of scam that didn't just happen once. It was a system. Jacob's hand trembled. "Who the hell gave you permission to use my name?" The room went dead silent. You can't be serious," Trent stammered, trying to laugh it off. "You're not Jacob Reed." Jacob pulled off his hoodie. Rain still clung to his hair, but his eyes burned like fire. "Go ahead," he growled. "Google me." A second later, someone gasped behind the receptionist's desk. "It's really him," one of the younger workers whispered. "It's the founder." Trent's fake smile disappeared. Emily looked between them, stunned. "You're the one who helped me before?" Jacob nodded slowly. "I remember your file. You were the first case we ever covered in our medical crisis transport program. You were never supposed to be charged again. Not for anything." Tears welled in her eyes. "Then, why did they take it back?" Jacob turned to Trent, voice low. "That's what I'm about to find out." He marched into the finance room. Emily and several employees following close behind. "What are you doing?" Trent barked. "You can't just—" "I can do whatever the hell I want," Jacob snapped. "I own this place." He logged into the internal database. Years of contracts, flagged deals, customer complaints, refund requests, and then he saw it. A folder labeled Reactivation Contracts JR Approved. Dozens of files, each with a stamped version of his signature, each connected to someone vulnerable: immigrants, single mothers, veterans on disability, elderly clients. His blood ran cold. It wasn't a one-time mistake. It was a coordinated operation. Trent and two others had been running a scam for over a year, reselling donated or charity-issued vehicles back to their original recipients using shady contract language, blaming policy changes and CEO approval. They'd made over $700,000 in fake reinstatement deals. Jacob's fists clenched. He looked over at Emily. "You trusted me," he whispered, "and I let this happen." She shook her head. "No, you didn't know. That's why you're here." Just then, Trent tried to leave. "Where are you going?" Jacob asked. "Home," Trent muttered. "I've got nothing else to say." "You're not going anywhere." Jacob called the police. "I want to report financial fraud, and I have proof." Minutes later, officers arrived. Trent was cuffed and taken out, shouting protests all the way. But Jacob wasn't done. He turned back to Emily. "You deserve more than an apology." She shook her head. "I just need the car. My daughter has chemo tomorrow." Jacob pulled out his phone. He called the factory. "Get me the best SUV we have in stock. Tonight." Then he turned back to her. "And after tomorrow, you'll never drive alone again." 2 weeks later, Emily stood at the front entrance of the dealership, not as a customer, but as the new community outreach director for Reed Auto Group. Jacob had given her the job personally. He'd also launched Project Grace, a division that donated cars to families with critically ill children, survivors of domestic violence, and veterans. Every single fake contract was audited, every victim refunded. And Jacob? He changed the entire way his company worked. No more complex fine print, no more blind trust in managers. He hired independent watchdogs, ran secret shopper tests, and opened a 24-hour customer hotline that rang directly to his phone every Friday night. Back in his office, Jacob sat alone. He opened the drawer where he kept old files. There it was, Emily's original charity application. He stared at her daughter's name, Mia Hargrove, age 8. Diagnosis, acute lymphoblastic leukemia. He whispered, "I will never forget again." Just then, Emily walked in with Mia, who had lost her hair but gained her smile. "Mr. Reed," Mia said shyly, "Mom said you gave us the car." "Thank you." Jacob knelt beside her. "No, sweetheart, you gave me back my purpose." She smiled, then pulled something from her little backpack, a crayon drawing of him, her, and a big shiny SUV. In the corner, she'd written, "The man who makes sure people get home safe." Jacob's eyes welled. He taped it to his wall, right next to his college diploma. Because in the end, legacy isn't built in boardrooms. It's built in moments when no one is watching, until you make sure they always will.